So that starts it. If you have it with an arrow going around and all, then you've got fast motion and that won't record anything. It's a real. And the other thing I try to do is make sure there's no chair on it. If I'm gonna walk and sitting in it.
Make sure there's
No chair, but if people are sitting, there's a lot of times they'll lock their ears and things like that. But here I've got free view of pulpit, so no problem. As long as this is running here, 30 seconds,
yeah,
it means you're recording.
right.
Then the biggest thing is just go back and forth. You know, when they finish, you gotta go over there. I'll have a bigger view. Tremendous
Okay. I'll watch everything going. He doesn't want it in the
So nice to have you. Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Maureen, and I just want to say welcome. So good to see all of your beautiful, luminous faces today, and I hope that this last week you left the gate open so you could just be as free as you felt like being. So that's how I feel this morning. The gate's open, let's go have fun. So I'd like to do an opening treatment for all of you. If you'd like, just relax again, take a deep breath, and just be here in this room and know there is only one spirit in this room. There's only the one in us, around us, and through us. We are one with it. And just know with me this unity of the one. There's only one mind. There's only one spirit. There's only one good universe. A universe of good. And I claim it now. I declare I am happy. I declare I am prosperous. I am prosperous. I have money to share and money to spare. I declare that I am one with this unlimited universe and that my body is a creation of this beautiful star stuff. I am healthy. Every cell in my body is in coordination and knows what to do to maintain this perfect health. And I am creative as the stars are creating and as the earth is creating. I am creative and I create. I create beauty all around me and in me and through me because I am the beloved. I am the good of the good. And I know for myself that I am loving and lovable, and I release anything unlike pure love and know that's who I am. I am the perfection, individualized, in expression right here, right today. So I give thanks in advance to all of this, everyone who participates in the fellowship called Carlsbad Center for Spiritual Living. Thanks to this organization. And I release my word. I know it is so, and together we say, and so it is. So another song.
Well, all of our songs are about choosing happiness. How about that? So, this is called Don't Worry, Be Happy. And of course, we want you to sing along with us. All right, now let's add the sopranos. Sing it, Mr. Cahill.
Here's a little song I wrote. I hope you learn it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. In every life you'll have some trouble. When you worry you make it double. Don't worry, be happy.
All right.
Ain't got no cash, ain't got no smile, ain't got no one to give you style. Don't worry, be happy. 'Cause when you worry your face will frown, that will bring everybody down. Don't worry, be happy. Sing along if you know the words. Ain't got no place to lay your head. Somebody came and took your bed. Don't worry, be happy. The landlord says your rent is late. He may have to litigate. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, just to sing along. There's the little song I wrote. I hope you learned it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. Now listen to what I say. In every life you'll have some trouble. When you worry you make it double. Don't worry, be happy.
Cahill and Lynn. Thank you, great. Well, welcome again, everybody. Just wanted to let you know you are very welcome to this fellowship. You're part of it. This is your church. So today, we have a special talk on happiness by Reverend Kay. And this center, you may know, is based upon the knowledge that there's one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. And right now, I'd like to call up Nikki for the candle lighting. Nikki, give her a hand. So please join me in the honor of the unifying nature of spiritual thought and experiences as we light the flames of faith, symbolizing all people and all faiths. We light the candle of the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle of Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. And finally, I invite you to take a moment, even take a breath, and recognize the light within that is always shining as we honor all forms of new thought, the metaphysical path of wholeness, oneness, and mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. Thank you. Thank you, Nikki. And most of you have. Yes, did you get one when you came in, a little program? Well, our statement of truth is here. It says there's a power for good in the universe and you can use it. And the mission of our center to teach, demonstrate, and inspire a positive spiritual approach to living. So if anybody is here for the first time, I want to extend a special warm welcome, and please sign our guest book out in the lobby and pick up a welcome packet. So be sure to join us for fellowship afterwards. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask, please. If you're not receiving our weekly email, please look up there at the sign-up sheet. Make sure you're on it. Cell phones. Don't do as I do, do as I say. Make sure the cell phone's turned off. Okay. Announcements. We have a few announcements. Masks are very welcome. You can wear a mask, feel free to do that. And just as a reminder, we can do the old elbow. We don't have to shake hands. We don't have to hug. Whatever you're comfortable with, please ask before you give the bear hug. Power of 8 class. Reverend Laurie, would you have a word?
I'll see you at 11:30. I'm looking forward to it. More magic and miracles.
Yay. All right. The Power of 8 class is on again today. And just wanted to say thank you to our volunteers today. And we have a special request for a birthday song. Happy birthday. We have two birthdays.
And is Melissa here too?
Melissa's
Where's Melissa?
not here yet.
She's
Back there.
Oh,
Let's go.
Melissa. We're going to sing happy birthday to Catalina and Melissa. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Catalina and Melissa.
Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
And thank your mothers. So I just want to say thank you to the volunteers today. Isn't this gorgeous? Thank you, Pat.
Yes.
Pat.
Beautiful.
And Melissa brought refreshments, and she disappeared again. Thank you, Melissa. And Catalina for being our greeter today. Thank you. And of course, we have the candle lighting. Thank you. Where'd you go? Yeah, she was picking. All right, thank you so much. And practitioner Larry. Thank you, Larry, for videotaping. We have a clipboard out there. If you want to sign up for anything in the coming weeks, feel free, because this, we really rely on wonderful volunteers to make this a special place. Thank you. And caring and sharing the power of 8 class, 100% of the class fee will go towards the Memorial Gratitude Well project that Lori and others are working on for a village in India. So you can still make a donation even if you're not in the class. Thanks. And parking lot reminder, they closed the gates, so take your car with you. Thank you. So group reading, you want to read that aloud, the group reading? If you have it, do you have it? Do you need one? Okay, the group reading. God is all, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect love and perfect abundance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect abundance. So it is. So we have a group song. Would you like to stand?
Please stand and let's get energized. This is called A Light in This World. You'll pick it up real fast. I'm a light in this world, I'm a light. And I shine and I shine and I shine and I shine so bright. So that's the whole thing, and this is a swaying back and forth song. Here we go. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. That was so beautiful, let's do it again. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And turn to someone and sing, you are a light. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine. sing You Are a Light. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine, you shine, you shine, you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, you shine, you shine, you shine, and you shine so bright. We are a light. We are a light. We are a light. We are a light in this world. We are a light. We are a light. We are a light in this world. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, we shine, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. We shine, we shine, we shine, we shine, we shine, we shine.
Oh, yes, you do.
Beautiful.
Thank you, that was gorgeous. Thank you so much. Wow. So, it is, just to let you know, we have ministers and we have practitioners here. We want to stand everyone who's available for doing prayer treatment. If you need a prayer treatment today, we're here for you. If you'd rather have talk later, just put a request in our prayer box on the table. Thank you, thank you. So we have an inspirational reading by an inspirational reader. So please welcome Verla.
She set that bar high. This one I had to read over a few times, so I hope I don't stumble too much. This is adapted from the 24th chapter of Science and Mind by Ernest Holmes. Wherever the image of thought is set, there the power to create resides. God, if thou seest God; dust, if thou seest dust. We can see good where evil appears to be, then we can remove the evil. When we bring a lamp into a darkened room, where does the darkness go? The darkness neither came nor did it go anywhere. It never was a thing of itself, merely a condition, and we have the power over conditions. The light is greater than the darkness. The darkness doesn't have any power over the light. The darkness seemed like the great denial of the light, but it really did not deny the light. For where the light was, the darkness was not. By merely bringing the light, the darkness vanished into its native nothingness. This is the power of reality, the incontestable truth over seeming opposition or apparent separation. The relationship between the individual, which is the mind, and the universal mind is one of reflection. That is what we imagine ourselves, which is universal mind, image for us. Therefore, it follows that the very law which creates bondage could as easily create freedom. The divine intends freedom for us, but the very fact that we have creative thought and that we are real individuals presupposes the use of our creativeness in more than one way. We can sit in the shade, or we can move into the sunshine. Sitting in the shadow, we may not really believe there is any sunshine, but the sun would be there all the time in the same way. All the time we are in bondage, the real freedom exists. It is there, but we must awaken to it. The law of mind as quickly creates one form as another for us, and so we must allow the patterns of our thought to become molded from the highest sense of reality we possess. By giving our complete attention to any one idea, we automatically embody it. We attract to ourselves the objectiveness, the objective likeness of this embodiment. The thought becomes a thing. You've heard that before in Science of Mind, right? The mental state takes one on form, color, and temporary reality. If we believe in suffering, we shall suffer. Life responds to us in the way we approach it. We should choose that which we wish to embody, and by constant attention to it, take on all its characteristics. Let us choose to be identified with power, love, beauty, peace, and happiness. Let us identify ourselves with abundance and success.
Thank you, Carla. And we have another song. Take
We
it
do
away.
indeed. We choose to embody that which we choose to embody. This song is all about that. It's all about that on a global scale, that we can choose love or we can choose hate, division, war. What do you choose? This song by Sean Galloway called I Choose Love.
I choose to be the online, just do, thank you, just do I Choose Love on YouTube and you'll find it. There's a video by Sean Galloway. You can listen to it again.
Thank you, thank you. And now it is my great opportunity to introduce Reverend Kay.
How is that? You can hear me? Oh, good. I'm glad. Although, yes, I'm really glad you can't hear me. Yes, I am. You know, I was a shy person, and so every now and then I'm like, oh, maybe they shouldn't hear me. But I'm glad you can hear me because I am kind of excited about what we've been doing this month. So this month we've been talking about The Power of Decision by Raymond Charles Barker, which is such a good entry point into the New Thought teaching because he just talks matter-of-factly. He doesn't use a lot of confusing words like our founder Ernest Holmes does. And thank you so much for Verla reading that, because I know there was a few tongue twisters, you know. What we image, God will image is just not the way we usually speak, although it's true. So I brought my old copy of The Power of Decision too because, and I was talking to a few people before we started, whenever I get a new copy of The Power of Decision, within, you know, a few months it's gone because I always want to share it with someone. But we've got a couple of copies left in the bookstore. But I wanted to say then, we're going to follow up next month with another book, which was his follow-up book by Raymond Charles Barker called Treat Yourself to Life. Because what we're going to do and what we've been doing since we reopened in April is to begin with just the idea that miracles and manifestations and intentions are possible. Now we've been talking about how the first step you need to make is to make a decision, and then we're going to move on into just kind of the basics of how it is in New Thought. We have found a shortcut to a miracle called treatment. And so we're going to move into that. But today, I'm going to start by telling you a little story. So, you probably heard this story before. One bright day in late autumn, a family of ants were bustling about in the warm sunshine, drying out the grain that they had stored up during the summer, when a starving grasshopper, his fiddle under his arm, no offense to our musicians, came up to the ants and humbly begged for a bite to eat. "What?" cried the ants in surprise. "Haven't you stored anything away for winter? What in the world were you doing all summer?" "Oh, I didn't have time to store up any food," whined the grasshopper. "I was so busy making music that before I knew it, summer was gone." The ants shrugged their shoulders in disgust. "Making music, were you?" And they turned their backs on the grasshopper and went on with their work. So there's a moral. This is Aesop's fable, and the moral is
there's a time for work and a time for play. And this story, this Aesop's fable, is so old. There's actually a written copy of it that's over 2,000 years old. But it's probably way older than that, right? I mean, just all you have to do is look at ants and look at those butterflies and grasshoppers, and it's like, oh yeah, what should we do? And, you know, there's a lesson. There is a time for work, and there is a time for play, and it is good to bring them in to balance. So I just, you know, wanted to share that when you think about happiness. First, let me ask you, was there anyone who woke up this morning and said, gee, I'd like to suffer all day today? I didn't think so. And yet, we do have a little bit of a conflicted attitude towards happiness, don't we? You know, if you just like, I mean, even the idea of being lucky-go-happy, or happy-go-lucky, yeah, happy-go-lucky. If you just say someone's happy-go-lucky, it's kind of like pegging them as a grasshopper, right? Feckless. And we do admire people who work, and they get so much done, and they're so successful and so accomplished. So, what it does is it brings into our minds a little bit of conflict. How can we both be prudent and be happy? You know, isn't it even, I think for some people, just the title of the talk, Decide to Be Happy. For some people, not in this room, but for some people, they probably would see that title as actually being self-centered, unrealistic, a little goofy, right? I mean, how can you just decide to be happy when there's so much going on in the world? You know, there's a lot of suffering and darkness in the world, so how can we just say, decide to be happy? The thing is that you could say that we're born to be happy, and yet we all grew up in a culture that has these mixed feelings. Ideas like the need to be hardworking, and I'm not against hard work, I believe in hard work. Ideas like these are passed down to us through the centuries. That story, you know, is very old, and we call it race consciousness. In New Thought, they like to call it race consciousness, although I think it's a crazy word that, or saying you would never make up today. Today we call it cultural consciousness, or the shared consciousness of humanity. You know, we're not in isolation. We don't live in isolation. We live together, and we are always absorbing things from our culture. When each of us took our first breath, when we were born into this life, we didn't even know about the fact that there was going to be work or going to be play, much less about balancing it. The thing is that some of us have taken this idea of being responsible citizens so much to heart that it's become a little bit warped or distorted in our minds. And so it became internalized in us that life is basically hard. That there is actually a lot to be afraid of, like not having enough money to see us through, or not having free time, or not having the necessities or luxuries of life. Some of us absorb the idea that we had to work non-stop just in order to survive, because, and this is the underlying belief, there might not be enough to go around for everyone. Life is a competition. You know, we call it the zero-sum game, that I need to get mine before everybody else takes it. So if you didn't want to be irresponsible like a grasshopper, then you should be selfish and hardworking like an ant. We know people like that, we all do. In fact, I have to admit, many years later, before I was a good student of New Thought, I actually told my kids, don't be like lazy grasshoppers. Go do your homework now, right? You know, and you might have been told other things. You might have heard maybe idle hands are the devil's hands. Or you might have heard that suffering will make you stronger. Or you might have heard no pain, no gain. There's lots of variations that we've been absorbing. Because the fact is that there's this deeply ingrained bias against happiness in our culture. Or maybe not a total bias against it, but just kind of a conflicted feeling about it. It's kind of like there's an open question about how much happiness is okay. So if I'm happy on Sunday, shouldn't I buckle down on Monday? It's interesting because happiness is mentioned in the Declaration of the United States, right? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And it's even mentioned in the California State Constitution that we have an inalienable right to happiness. So there's like, yes, let's be happy, and like, but do we really deserve it? And that is just a result of our culture. It's not the truth. Because what is happiness? The Buddhist monk Matthew Ricard said that their view, the Buddhist view, is that happiness is a deep sense of serenity and fulfillment, a state that pervades and underlies all emotional states, all the joys and all the sorrows that come one's way. It's not just a quick moment of laughter. It's a state of being, actually. Now, in our Science of Mind textbook, in the glossary, in the back, in case you ever want to start looking things up, it defines happiness. It says in metaphysics, happiness is a state of inner peace, a consciousness of the goodness of God and the beneficent attitude of the universe. The loving, positive attitude of the universe. Happiness is a realization, it goes on, that joy can come to everyone. And it also has a definite effect on mind, body, and our affairs. Happiness is a state of permanent joy. And it goes on, it is never the will of God or universal harmony that anyone should be unhappy. We have a right to any happiness of which we can conceive, provided that that happiness hurts no one else. And that happiness is in keeping with the nature of progressive life, right? We say life is always unfolding. So our happiness needs to be based on things that are in harmony with the truth about the universe. So that's what the Buddha say, that's what the Science of Mind textbook says. And here's what Raymond Charles Barker says in his book. He says, happiness is genuine satisfaction with your present experience. He says, the number of people in today's world who are not happy is shocking. Just think of 6 of your friends, besides the ones in this room, 6 of your other friends, and estimate in your mind how many of them are not satisfied with their current situation. Happiness is not a constant feeling, he says, but satisfaction can be. Satisfaction is a deep underlying sense of fulfillment, a sense of doing a good job with life. It's a good subconscious base which abides in certainty through the many ups and downs or vicissitudes of the conscious mind level of experience. He says happiness is a basic wholesomeness, which then permits a flow of creativity to be in action in both mind and emotions. So then he goes on, and he says, and this is one of the good things about him, he doesn't pull any punches. So he says, unhappy people think they know why they are unhappy. Their explanations are usually incorrect. They do not see themselves correctly. Their disturbed emotions distort their reasoning capacity. They want to change events, situations, conditions, and people in their individual worlds. They don't want to change themselves. They want a rearrangement of facts, and they dodge the concept of a rearrangement of ideas within their own consciousness. That's his opinion. And the truth is, happiness is an inside job. You know, I was thinking about happiness, and I was thinking you could say also that happiness, the way we're using the term, is kind of like contentment. You know, a feeling that everything may not be exactly the way I want it, but life is good. A feeling, as Thomas Troward put it, it's a feeling of cheerful expectancy. Yes, things are the way they are, I can handle it, and I look forward to the new. So Barker is telling us that happiness is an inside job, and in order to reach that state of inner peace and serenity we're talking about, he says you've got to begin at the beginning, and that is you have to make a decision to be happy. You can't just wish for it. You've got to decide to be happy. Can you do it? Can you make that decision? So for me, I want to say one of the benefits that I've gotten out of participating in Reverend Laurie's Power of Eight class is just the experience of working together and helping each other see what's going on and move into making a clear decision. So each person in the class is making a clear decision, stating an intention. So the process is interesting because it's not always that easy. You can be like dissatisfied with things, and you'll be glad to know we call it divine dissatisfaction. It's just not complaining. It's divine dissatisfaction. That's just, you know, I'm ready to make a move. So you have that sense, but then if you're in that, how do you know what you want? This is the power of decision. You look at things and you make that decision of what it is you want. And we can decide to be happy. We can decide to have that state of mind. Because we can't stay focused at a level of complaint. We need to stop paying so much attention to what's bothering us and begin spending more attention on what it is we want to see. You know, if you're not feeling well, if you're in pain, you want to begin to think of yourself as being healthy, and getting that clarity of mind actually enables you to make better decisions about what to do about your situation. So, for instance, I turned my not turn, let's say I sprained my foot a little bit, strained, I guess is the word, when I was getting into a slippery shower. And so immediately I was like, oh no. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's silly. I just took a minute and I calmed my mind and thought about calmly what I should do. Oh, nothing. It was crystal clear. There was nothing to be done. I was perfectly fine. But if I had sprained it, actually, or something like that, once I had calmed my mind, I might have made a different decision. I might have, gotten an x-ray or whatever, or called a friend for treatment. Who knows? But I would have made a clear thinking decision. And so making a decision of what you want actually calms your mind so you can make your way through the what I don't want more easily, instead of just feeling overwhelmed by it. It's always seems strange, but actually we know that people can be healthy, people can be wealthy, and those same people can still be quite unhappy. I think it's, when you don't have money and you see someone who's like rolling in dough and they are so unhappy, you're like, what's wrong with them? But the fact is, money can't buy love and money can't buy happiness. The feeling of inner peace and serenity. And once you feel it, you may even have a sense of radiant joy. This metaphysical happiness is obtained when we relax and recognize this amazing truth about ourselves. And it was true about us the moment we took our first breath, and it's still true about us now. We are enough. We're enough. We're good enough. We're smart enough. We are enough. So Barker puts it this way. Well, not exactly that, but he goes on to say, he goes on to say, your present mind is cause to your world of effects. Everything that happens to you happens because of you. You alone are cause to your material experience. This is perhaps a very unpleasant truth, but it has to be known and accepted if a correct way is to be found to be happy. So now I always struggle with that because, the fact is that I'm the one who told my children not to be like grasshoppers. They didn't just wake up one day and know that they had to work really hard. So we're all in this together, right? So it's our present individual mind and our present shared mind, but as now we're adults, we're free to make new decisions. So we can make a new decision. Yeah, I'm ready to be happy now. So Barker goes on, he says, and this is the good news. This is his good news. Already in your mind are the right ideas. Seeking your right thinking to become the cause of your inner and outer happiness. You don't have to beg some outside God. What you do is you have to know yourself as a great spiritual potential of happiness. God's work in you as you has been completely accomplished, right? You're already enough. It just awaits your recognition and your practice of the ideas. So he says, say something like this to yourself. There is one mind, God, infinite good. This good includes all that I am. Therefore, it includes every idea that I need to be happy and creative. These divine ideas are now functioning in my consciousness, revealing themselves to me. I am open and receptive to these ideas. I am alert to their intuitive instructions. There is no resistance, in me to my good. There are no old patterns of unhappiness, no false ideas that I am unworthy. I am a spiritual being, an individualization of life. My subconscious mind now accepts these statements and acts upon them. Now I know my rejoicing pathway, right? So, decide to be happy, and you're going to know your rejoicing pathway. Why should we be happy? We should be happy because in that state of serenity, that state of knowing that we are in harmony with life, we are going to be able to allow and experience these spiritual ideas or these spiritual insights to come forth into our conscious mind. So I'm not going to try to tell you all the great ideas that Dr. Barker has, but the quick overview is make a decision to be happy. You were created to be happy. Understand happiness begins with ourselves. It doesn't happen to us. We're not the victim of happiness, right? We're the perpetrator of happiness. And we need to start seeing we're happy now in order to activate those creative ideas. We need to be open to change and not hang on to the past. We need to put some zest into our lives and shift our attention towards what we desire, to what feels right. Get a plan, follow through with it. He has a few suggestions. They're from the back of the chapter. If you have the book, you can read them. But he says, do affirmations. Declare, I have a right to be happy. Stop all complaining. Stop gossiping. Find things to praise. Look for the good in other people and in situations. See other people as actually individualizations of good, of God. Go where you're invited. If you need something, go get it. If you want to change something, change it. Do it. Get in action. Read more books. Come here. Listen to TED Talks, whatever you want to do. You know, experience more prosperity through giving and opening up your channels to receive also. Say yes to receiving as well as yes to giving. Don't get too isolated or too alone in that. We all know what that feels like after the past couple of years. Mm-hmm. He says, keep in circulation with the human race. Reactivate old hobbies, find new ones, go places, do things, find things to laugh about. But the most important thing to do is to remember that life, God, the all good, wants you to be happy. It must. Otherwise, how would we even have life? Life is just always in expansion. So begin to say it aloud. I am happy now. So I'm going to invite you to say it with me 3 times. I am happy now. I am happy now. I am happy now. And so it is. Thank you.
Perfect, Reverend Kate. Thank you so much for that beautiful message, which will inspire us for weeks. And we have the perfect affirmation song. It's called Happy, Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise. And you're going to sing it with us.
Absolutely.
Shining
Samba Karen Drucker.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Mhm.
I feel really blessed. So right now, do you need help, Jan? Maddie could help you. Oh, great. So right now, I'm just going to go with that. Happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise as we turn our minds into the moment of conscious giving. And I give thanks for everyone who came today, participated today, and everyone who's helping us pay our rent and all our expenses today. And I know that this center exists as an outpicturing in our minds of something that is a wonderful idea. It's an idea that life is wonderful, that life is just fabulous, and that we can be happy and celebrate and increase our understanding of life, and that this center exists to help each of us do that. And so I'm just so grateful for all the support for this center today and always. So thank you, Spirit. Thank you all. I know there are blessings, and I turn this little treatment over to Spirit, knowing good is already at hand, and so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
That's what I say. We are. We're going to sing You Can't Stop Love. Was there anything else we wanted to say before that? That's kind of, see, why I was looking at you and you were looking at me.
I would like to say something before that. I would like to remind everyone that we're going to have fellowship right after we sing the song. And before we sing the song, I would like to invite Reverend Lori to give us a closing treatment.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
I'll just speak loud. How's that? Yeah?
No. I want to see if I can disconnect. Here, take this.
Thank you, Kate. So we're going to have fellowship, and then usually we meet at 20 after, but at 20:25 after, because we're starting, ending a little late today. I'm excited about our Powerade. Thank you for showing up, Maddie. If you just hang around, we'll have your intention for you today. So I invite everyone to close their eyes and to go within and just to be grateful for this community, which is our community, that we all come together here as one to love God, to worship God, to assist each other in consciousness, and to give our good, our grace, and our love to this community as we continue to grow and to thrive, and to recognize that the truth of who we are is that we are happy, we are healthy, we are wealthy, and we are wise, because we are all that God is. And I am grateful for this loving community as we come together as one, as we celebrate our birthdays today, Catalina and Melissa, knowing that we love these people, as we love each and every one everyone here. And I just recognize and know that our Power of 8 has been successful. Many magicals and miracles have been coming from it. And it's just beautiful to be connected to such a beautiful group of people. And I just bless each and every person here on your journey this week, that you take these lessons with you to be happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise into your own life and out into the world. And so it is. Amen.
Open your heart, let your love go free, out over the ocean, right across the street. Let it flow like a river, let it fly like a dove, till your heart remembers you can't stop love. Once you get it started, watch what it does. It'll go full circle. You can't stop love. One more time now. Open your heart, let your love go free, out over the ocean, right across the street. Let it flow like a river, let it fly like a dove, till your heart remembers you can't stop love. Once you get it started,